Happy Wednesday, Elevators, and welcome to episode 12 of the She Elevates podcast. This is Gail, your personal development coach.
This is Jessica, your financial strategist.
Hi, this is Tammy, your spiritual motivator.
And behind that black box is the lady making the donuts, Antoinette. And so, guys, how are you feeling today?
Feeling great. Absolutely amazing.
I'm getting there.
It's early.
I'm alive. I thank God for being alive. This is the day.
It's early when you're retired.
I will rejoice.
The day that the Lord has made.
Look, I will rejoice. I'm getting there. Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Absolutely. So last week, Elevators, we talked about, So last week we talked about how we as women who wear multiple hats already, we tend to kind of ramp it up and go into overdrive around this time, around the holidays, trying to be everything for everybody. And we end up physically and mentally drained. We're exhausted. And we framed it around family, finance, and fun. So if you missed our Superwoman Complex episode last week, you can catch it on, and this is our new acronym, PASS, Pandora, Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and we threw YouTube and Facebook on it. And I actually think we're working out the kinks on Instagram as well. So yes. You can catch it there. So be sure to join us on the first Wednesday of every month because we're live, and we'll use our other acronym. Don't forget to list, like,
invite, share, tag, and subscribe.
Yeah, so all the different platforms. I'm going to add a little bit more. So leave a comment or a review, depending on which platform you're on, because our goal is to make an impact. So we want to make sure we're being impactful. So let us know how we're doing and drop us a comment or a review. So that's it for housekeeping, guys. Anything top of mind for you before we jump into the podcast today?
No, I think you pretty much covered everything.
Let's just jump right in there.
I'm ready.
Keep it going. So, guys, what we're doing, or what we did starting today, is we had each member of the podcast come up with a topic for the following week. It's a little bit of pressure, but that's okay because it does a couple of things. One, it leverages the diversity among us because although we have a lot in common, we're still very unique. We're unique in age, our careers, our philosophies. So you're going to get a little bit of that, which makes a more robust podcast, which is a good thing. And it actually helps us grow because we could be asked to dive into an area that we normally would not be discussing with our friends. Like me and Tammy may not discuss some things that Jessica and Antoinette would discuss. And yeah, so that's the backstory on how we're operating now. And that kind of segues us in today's topic, which is idols, IDOLS, or as the millennials may refer to it as being thirsty.
Little
parts. So what comes to mind for me is how we sometimes obsess over things to the point where it can become harmful to your health, your happiness, or your well-being because it's operating like an addiction. So idol for me was kind of harsh. So I just changed the words to obsessive or, like an addiction. Like someone, and this resonates with me, who's always focused on losing weight and ends up spending hundreds or thousands of dollars on whatever the flavor of the month is in weight loss. Marketing has a ball with people who obsess over weight loss, and those people could even become bulimic or anorexic, depending on how extreme it gets. And that's pretty extreme, but people also obsess over success or money, relationships, happiness, and nowadays, even social media followers or getting likes. And any of that can be just as damaging because it keeps you not only from appreciating what you have, but you kind of miss the great things that are happening in the moment, like all around you. Something's always happening that we can be appreciative of. And I'm going to let you ladies chime in, but I think in many cases, the root is either a self-esteem or an anxiety issue, or it can come from comparing yourself to other people, which, we can tend to do, even if it's subconsciously, a lot. We compare ourselves to other people and to what we're doing, to what they're doing. And all of that can lead to some toxic behavior. But, in the end, I think it can all be modified or corrected with either therapy or self-development. So, ladies, what say you?
I'm actually glad we chose this topic to talk about, because with everything that's going on in the world, you find so many people going to social media for everything. It's like, I know we use Google a lot. You literally have people going to Instagram, Facebook, social media for everything. Post the outfit. How do you like this? What about how do you like this? It shouldn't matter what somebody else's opinion is towards you. And then you take those things and then you internalize those things. And now you're feeling a certain way about yourself. When you went to the store and got the outfit, or you ordered the outfit, it was fine. But as soon as you put the outfit on and you posted a picture, you asked somebody else for their opinion, and their opinion wasn't in alignment with what you had in mind. Now your whole mood didn't change. You're depressed about it. Then that leads into, well, why this outfit don't look good on me? I'm too thick in this area. So it just starts to lead to a whole lot of things. And I think we just allowing social media itself to control us in more ways than we even realize. And especially in this day and age, even down to the bullying factor with kids in school and stuff. Like, they hear a lot of stuff and they see a lot of stuff on social media, and then they start implementing those things, even like little YouTube videos. And it's kind of like, how do we get a grasp on those type of things? How do we control that? Do we minimize that time? Because social media, on the opposite side of the negative, is that it's helping build a lot of businesses these days. A lot of people are on the internet sharing their businesses. So it's kind of like, how do you create the limitation between the two? I'm baffled on that.
That was good, Jessica. Yeah, I like when you kind of ended up with like, so what do we do? How do we get past that? But I'll go back to, for me, when I heard this topic, it was like, okay, let me just make sure that I'm clear. And I would like to say, for me, it's about, let's define what an idol is. Because, I think as Gail said, she thought that word was a little harsh, but also for her having to define, I think that's what I heard her. You define idol, right? For yourself, being thirsty or obsession or an addiction.
Exactly.
And for me, it was very similar as well, because when I think about, being an idol worshiper, of course, I'm thinking about from a biblical standpoint, and thinking about the story where the king, he wanted the people to idolize him, to worship him. And it was because he wanted the glory. He wanted the attention. So for me, it's, if you feel, personally that you want the recognition, look what I've done. Look at how great and smart I am and wonderful I am. Look how well I can perform, and look how wealthy I am, in a way that's taken away the credit from your creator, from God. You're not saying that God had anything to do with this. And that's what the king did. And that's where he got in trouble. Okay. And there was some things happened in his life to cause him then not to have all of those things, and it humbled him. So having the misplaced desires for attention and affection sometimes for me can be idling or idolizing. But I also think about I think I was looking on the internet or read a statement about a young lady idolized her brother and where she thought he could do no wrong. So even if, it was true, she wouldn't believe it because she idolized him. So being very careful of where you place your affections and knowing that you have a creator. So going back to Jessica's point, if we're not teaching, and I know we're not, Gail said we're diverse. We have different philosophies. But for me, it is your spiritual foundation because that allows you to realize that you were created in the image of God. It lets you know that God is the source of your supply, right? So having our young people, introducing them to those spiritual truths from a biblical perspective, I believe it would help them, first of all, to know who they are, and then also know where they're, the source of their supply, that's church talk, right, comes from. So then there will not be as much. I'm not saying that, Christians are perfect and we're perfect because we are human beings, but we still have a tendency, I believe, to fall back on those principles when you feel those emotions, because Gail kind of mentioned things to me that were sort of emotional, mental things that can take you too far off basis. So when you have that foundation and you see someone, let's say a child's looking at someone else on YouTube and they're feeling body shamed because their bodies don't look like that person, but they will know that I'm created in the image of God and greater is he that's in me. And, so having that spiritual, I think, training and those principles will help. Really, it helps mentally, emotionally, physically, in so many ways. So, and then understanding.
I hear like that balance and having that place where you come back to be grounded. Because it's like we can, you have to get back to the basics, if that makes sense. We can get out there and we can be living a life, and kind of like if you was to come into some money or whatever, this is new wealth to you. You want to go do everything that you dreamed of, that you ever dreamed of. And you're out here and you're getting it. And now it's so easy to do. It's kind of like you're feeling a certain type of way. Now you find yourself, I'm gonna get that. Shoot, I can afford that. Now let me go ahead and get that. But then it's like a feeling inside of you just don't feel the same. And I think if you, to your point, Tammy, getting back to the basics, getting back to how you was raised, having that,
remember, everybody wasn't raised that way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, everybody wasn't raised that way. But for a person like me to get back to the basics on how I was raised to overcome what society has thrown out there to me.
Right. Yeah. So go look, you can look at it from a child's perspective. Let's train them up so they'll have that foundation to go back to. And if you did not get that, then know that there's another option out here, right? You can go to, get information about who God says I am, and whether that's getting in a Bible, teaching, church, or, whatever, but getting that understanding that you're more than just who you are. And another thing I'll say, that I'll pass the mic, right? I was looking at, so from a biblical perspective, how do I know when I am idolizing someone? And one statement was, you find your worth and value in them because they give you status, popularity, and power. That thing gives you status, popularity, and power, or you feel that. When you think of your life without them, then you feel empty inside. Then that's kind of taking it too far, right? Because human beings, we are flawed. And, whether, and especially when you're talking about relationships, right? Some may say, oh, that man makes me feel a certain kind of way, and without them, I'm nothing. But, the song says, I'm nothing without Christ. And I'll pause there because I'll be back.
I don't want about to start singing something. I don't know what I was about to start singing, but I was feeling something.
I'm love without you. We'll come up with it just before it's over.
This episode is brought to you by MWR Financial. MWR Financial stands for Make Wealth Real. With all that's going on in the economy, listen, we need experts who are going to work on our behalf. Experts who know exactly what's going on in this economy and who can actually help you overcome the challenges that we all are facing. If you're needing an expert that assists you with getting your credit scores up, getting your debt down, getting your income up, and most of all, helping you get out of debt, MWR is the company you would want to speak with. Let our experts help you with growing your financial portfolio. Visit www.mwrfinancial.com/SheElevates. Again, allow the team of experts to help you with whatever financial challenges that you're having right now. Again, visit www.mwrfinancial.com/SheElevates. She Elevate cares about your finances as well as we care about empowering as so many women as we do.
So, just want to go all the way back, Sammy, to when you first started talking. That was an interesting perspective because to me, well, I think, and you ended up talking about how you can idolize other people, but you started out talking about how you wanted people to idolize you, which I didn't even consider that, how you can just want attention. Yeah. How, and I thought that was a great point of view to look at it from, because sometimes, people are starving for attention and you're doing things not because they're your goals or anything, but it's for self-satisfaction and to get accolades from other people. So I think we have to be, our motives have to be, not around just wanting people to puff you up and big you up and make it seem like, you got it going on, because then you're setting yourself up to be the idol.
I love that. And it makes me think about even during the holiday seasons, like I think this maybe will be like my 5th or 6th year doing it, where I cook and I go out and I feed the homeless, or not even just the homeless, just, if you standing out, you can get a plate, and I do that before even feeding my own family. So I find so many people, and a lot of people used to always, why you don't advertise it? Why you don't do? I don't do it for that. When I'm serving, I'm doing just that. I'm not serving to get a like, to get a comment, to be appreciated by you, or to be seen in a different light. I don't do it for that purpose. And when you just stated that people want people to idolize them, I see that so much around the holidays, because one thing that really, really irks my nerve is when I see a person claiming to help somebody less fortunate and they got their camera out. They taking a picture or they recording a situation. When I say that does something to my spirit,
look at me.
Like,
look at how good I am.
Like, no, you're doing it for the wrong purpose.
Remember, I started imitate, one of our past presidents who stood in front of a church with the Bible, but had that Bible upside down.
Listen here.
That's a perfect example of what Jessica is talking about.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's it. That's the story with King Nebuchadnezzar. It was like, give me attention. Look what I've done. Come on, everybody. Worship, these idols that I have done. And, we have to be careful, because when you started talking, Gail, I could see even in church, right? That it happens. I'm in the front, or I'm in the behind the podium. I'm here, or I'm behind this microphone, and it's like, and you have to be careful, because sometimes, Jessica, you have your little pet peeve. For me in church, it's like when I'm in that moment and I'm praising God and acknowledging Him, and then someone stops me, I'm like, shh. I got it. He has my attention now. So let's leave it there. But we have to be careful, right? That we're not doing things to take that glory. So from a biblical standpoint, at the end of the day, we're taking the glory, we're taking the attention away from our Creator. So remain humble in whatever state you're in. Just remain humble, whether you have the money and knowing that if you've got the Coca-Cola bottle, what is that?
Look, remain humble voluntarily, or it can be done involuntarily.
Yes.
It's like, let's be real.
So, this is an interesting one for me as well, Gail, with the idol, because sometimes it's a little bit of, I look at it also as, how do I know if someone is idolizing someone? Some things are obvious, right? But I want to make sure that I'm not looking at someone and saying, oh, because she cares so much about her hair or her physical appearance, that I'm calling that idolizing when actually she cares, So you can look at it from that perspective as well.
Yeah,
I
and
think
also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead and answer
No,
that.
I was just going to say also, like, the subtle things, I feel like too, like how it isn't always a person. Sometimes it's things, like how you guys were saying too. Sometimes it's just like, I want to be successful and I'm so obsessed with wanting this lifestyle. I want to have a business now. I want to, and it comes across very thirsty. And, I would say this topic came from like a really deep place for me, but it really didn't. It was like the word popped in my head and I couldn't get it out of my head for like a whole day. But yeah, and you guys are having an interesting perspective for sure.
Yeah, that's good, because that's just where I was going, Tammy. You talked about, you have to be careful not to look at people and, label what they're doing as idolization. I'm saying, now I'm being introspective, because trying to think about this topic, I'm like, because I'm very goal driven. And I'm going to make some goals and I'm going to go after them. Well, from the outside looking in, people could easily say, she's idolizing this because she wants success. Where in my mind, I just think it's a very fine line, because in my mind, it's like I have identified a goal. I have created some tasks to meet that goal, and I'm just focused and I'm going to stay on target. Well, I think for me, where I say I'm not idolizing it is I'm not always going to meet that goal, and I will pivot and I will do something else. But yeah, so I'm a very driven person and goal oriented. So, it's kind of a fine line between whether you just are a goal oriented person or whether you're idolizing success, like Antoinette said.
And I think there's a very fine line between idolizing something and being inspired by something. We can be inspired by something. I think what defines it as idolizing something is if you're in the process of being inspired, you're losing who you are.
That's good.
And if you're losing who you are, you're trying to be a clone of whatever it is that you're idolizing. And that's when it becomes unhealthy. Always remain true to yourself and who you are, your values.
Yep.
So remember, be inspired instead of idolizing.
When you are idolizing it, you find your value, your worth in that thing, because it gives you status and popularity and power. So it's very similar to what you're saying. It is, what is that thing giving you? Like what Gail is saying, we'll use that as an example. She wants success, in which, it's like, who does? Right. I'm like, okay, but we're using her example, and she has goals and tasks to accomplish that. But her value, her worth, she's not going to be depressed if certain things don't happen in the timing. She's not going to go into a place of losing her identity and thinking now that she's, a failure or things like that. So I do really believe it does depend on what will this do to you if it's not there.
And I think from a Christian standpoint, I'm sorry, it's hard to not, because you guys can't see when I unmute. But I think from a Christian standpoint too, it's like anything that is taking the place of, God in my life is can be considered an idol in a certain sense.
Yeah, and because a lot of times we in the church, come on, church here, it is, let me say this. When we believe in God and we serve God and we love God, and then we have goals. So I think it was Jessica was saying, it's a balance. It has to be a balance, Gail. It has to be a balance in life, right? Because I love God. God's in my heart. God is a spirit. But then God has given me the strength, right? He's given me the power to get wealth. He says, I wish above all things you prosper and be in good health. So I then still have goals, right? To prosper, to cause myself to prosper. So not removing the fact that it's God who gives me the power.
And I don't want people to, especially our listeners, like, we're talking about this because, of course, it's a very important topic, but don't get too caught up in perfection. Because I know a lot of times we can have discussions like this, and then people, they struggling so hard and they just like, oh my God, I gotta be perfect. Like, don't get caught up in perfection. Like, God, He knows the things we're about to do before we even do it. Okay. So you hear me always say I'm perfectly imperfect, and I'm absolutely fine with that. Just knowing who God is, having that relationship with Him, being true to yourself, knowing that you're going to keep God in the midst of everything that you're doing. Be inspired. Stop idolizing things. I think that wraps it up in a bow.
I think you put a bow all the way on that, Jazz.
Amen.
That's good. All right,
and
y'all.
the church said amen.
So let's slide into our next segment, guys. Anybody feeling a little messy?
Messy. What's the foolery today, y'all?
Now I'm going to have the church say amen and go into some mess. I ain't about to be messy with y'all today.
Are you kidding? I ain't with it today. For real?
Well, wow. Wow.
Tell us, Jessie.
Oh my God. I'm not real messy today. I do want to talk about this thing I saw with Tina Turner. And I could not believe Tina Turner was doing this. You should, Tina Turner, I'm a little upset with you about it. But Tina Turner is suing an impersonator. But we're not talking about just somebody out here doing fraud on her or anything like that. News Nation USA, Tina Turner sues impersonator for looking too much like her. We're talking about somebody who played, I guess it was a short film called Simply the Best, a died Tina Turner story. I guess it was being viewed in Germany. There can only be one Tina Turner, and the legendary singer is letting that be known. Miss Tina is suing a tribute act based in Germany for looking too much like her. Tina lawyers argue that professional impersonator Dorothea Coco Fletcher, who is in her 30s, looks so much like Tina in promotional posters that fans may mistakenly think she's the real thing and believe they're actually paying to see Tina. Now, Tina...
Wait, she's 30, and you're saying she looks like Tina when Tina was 30, or you're saying she looks like...
She looks really good.
She getting them coins.
But my thing is, if somebody is gonna play you want them to look like you, right?
But also, she's not using her name, is she? She when she's in the movie or plays or whatever, she's using her own name.
So how are you going to think that
this is Tina Turner giving us a fake name?
Tina, I don't know where you're going with that one, but I mean...
Well, I guess we could possibly say, what was the young lady's name?
Dorothea Coco. She looked really good.
We could say Dorothea was idolizing Tina, and Tina wasn't feeling it, okay?
She was inspired by Tina.
See, there you go.
She was inspired.
So much so that she had a career based on her...
She was going to monetize the fact that she could do a very good impersonation of Tina. So there you go. All the perspectives.
At the end of the day, I guess Tina ain't getting no coins from it. So y'all just give Tina some coins.
Give Tina some coins.
Using her name.
They need to collaborate.
Wow. What do you say, Gail? Gail would say plagiarism is the best form of flattery.
Highest form of flattery.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Bring Tina out at the end. Do a collaboration.
See, that's what Tina wants. Look, you didn't come. I'm sorry, Tina. I don't know what you want.
In other news, we have. I never knew anything about a speed skating. I didn't know it was a thing.
That it was even a thing.
Yeah, but apparently
you see the speed skaters.
But apparently it's a thing. Girl, if I be out there on the skate thing, I'm gonna fall and bust my butt.
No. You're just an observer. From
the sideline.
Is this ice skating?
Is it ice skating? I'm not sure.
Yes, it is. They're on those blades. They're on the blades.
Okay.
I did that once and I was good. I didn't have to do it anymore.
But to watch it is unbelievable. It's like they are going so fast.
Is that like with when they do the figure eights and stuff like that?
They're not figuring. It's speed. It's like a race.
All about
sort of
speed.
Like roller skate. Like you would see back in our days. They had like roller skating shows, and people would go around the ring and they would race. This is speed on the blade on the ice.
Well, I think this one is very worth celebrating. Anytime someone Black does something phenomenal, it's always worth celebrating.
Always.
And so Erin Jackson becomes the first Black American woman to win Speed Skating World Cup. In 2018, Jackson became the first Black woman to qualify for the U.S. Olympic long track speed skating team after being on the ice for only 4 months. Wow. 4 months?
4 months?
4 months.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's a gift. She's
and that is.
Yes. Erin Jackson made history this past Friday when she became the first Black American woman to take the winning title at the ISU Speed Skating World Cup. She's a 29-year-old athlete, competed in the women's 500-meter event at the Arena Lodawa in, I'm not even finna pronounce that long word, in Poland. And she finished with a time of 37.613 seconds to clinch her first World Cup gold medal. That is absolutely amazing. You can't tell me Black women, we're one of a kind. We're one of a kind.
That's awesome. I could just imagine what her practice regimen looks like. Someone may say she was idolizing that, but I guarantee you it was some discipline.
She was focused.
She had goals. She was focused. So look, work hard, right? Because it will pay off.
Focused.
My goodness.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Erin Jackson.
That's all I had. I do want to mention one thing. I thought it was funny. Really, I just got him out of it. Bernie Sanders stated that. Look, anytime somebody say Bernie Sanders, like,
I think we're about to get messy.
Bernie Sanders tweeted, "We must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share in taxes." And he added, period. Okay. He said, period.
Period.
Wow.
Period.
Period with a T on the end.
Look,
period.
The fact that he said the word, was enough.
Big dot.
And he was hanging out with Cardi B, right? They had a little thing going there.
Look, she might need this segment.
Cardi, he schooled him on some slang and some hip stuff.
The famous Elon Musk tweeted, said, "I keep forgetting that you still alive." Now, Elon. I was like, what? And he was like, what? You want me to sell more stock, Bernie? Just say the word.
That was a little aggressive.
It was. So
respect your elders, Elon.
He's stepping down on Bernie Sanders, but he also just letting the people know how he controls the stock market with his tweets as well.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
That's what we have to say about that.
On that note, we're going to move to our execution steps. Let's execute. So, great conversation, ladies, on Idol. I was a little nervous when I got the topic. It's like, okay. But I think we did good.
Absolutely.
So, and this is coming from this perspective of you idolizing other people or being concerned about others' opinions or comparing yourself to others. So I have three things. One is practice gratefulness. Reframe your perspective. So instead of thinking about what you don't have, appreciate what you do have. And we've all heard it before that there's always somebody who would love to be in your shoes. And another thing that would be helpful is a gratitude journal. That's a great way to actively appreciate where you are and what you want in life. The second thing is to find joy in the moment. It's so easy to get caught up on trying to reach your goal and everything else, and you miss what's going on in the moment. So be present and don't necessarily focus on the destination. And this is one of my favorite things. When you change what you see changes. And like if you're sitting in traffic, you just see a sea of cars in front of you. You can either be stressed out that traffic is at a standstill, or you can see it as relief because you get to extend your me time, your alone time. You can listen to your favorite songs. You can talk to God. You can listen to an audio book, or you can listen to the She Elevates podcast, which is what I read.
That part.
Elevate.
Yes. And the third.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Go ahead.
This last one. Third thing is take control. Become aware of your obsession and modify your behavior. Information is nothing if you don't change it. So if you don't make a change. So modify your behavior. And sometimes that includes the people you hang around. Sometimes you have to change your circle because you want to create your environment that keeps you moving in a positive direction. And of course, reading books and positive self-talk is good as well. So, yeah, Jessica, you were going to say.
Because when you stated find joy in the moment, it took me back to a note I had written down maybe like a year or so ago. It stated, if you are in the room trying to get a photo op, you've missed the bigger picture. So many people be in the room and trying to take a picture, and you miss the bigger picture. Wow. Yeah. So when you said that stood out to me.
That was good. That was
good.
Be in the moment. You saw me moving when you said, be thankful. I thought about, though you may not drive a great big, come on, Gail. Because Jessica don't know this.
Rooftop, digging the sea.
This is back in the day, Jessica. Bottom.
Go, millennial.
Just be thankful for what you got, right?
Yeah.
Being thankful. I love that. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Great
and
job,
here's our quote. Yeah. Thank you. Here's our quote. It's from Malcolm S. Forbes. He's the publisher of the Forbes magazine, one of the ones who's going to have to pay more taxes, according to Bernie. Anyway, he said, I throw my mess in. Too many people overvalue what they are not and undervalue what they are. It's deep. Overvalue what they are not. Undervalue what they are.
Come on, y'all. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Ooh, when I tell you, I literally feel that in my body. That's a podcast by itself.
Oh, my. Yeah, because we're always striving to be better, to do more. But do we embrace who we are, what we are?
Do you know who you are?
Because it's based on whose you are. But we're going to stop. We got to go. We got to go. All right, guys. We will see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, ladies. Great combo.
Yes, love it.